I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
All right. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, Manny's Man. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is doing fine. Good afternoon. Yeah, we are delighted that we have life and life more abundantly. It is in the Most High God that we live, move, and we have our beings. Apart from Him, we are nothing. We thank God that our lives are not in the hands of men. And blessed are you when men persecute you and speak all manner of evil against you. It's a great is your reward, which is in heaven. We continue to look to the hills from whence cometh our help. Our help comes from the Lord who has made the heavens and the earth. Yeah, man. How you doing, my people? It is Super Friday as usual. For those of you who this is your first time on the show, I ask you to hit the like button. Yeah, man. Subscribe and share. Yes. It's going to be a good one today. Very, very good one. We're going to discuss, football, the sport that we love so well. And we're going to talk about it in terms of, development, we're going to talk about development, player development in the past, player development presently, and player development in the future. And very interesting discussion we had, I think, yesterday. And we have we have a group. It's called a Great Sports Debaters GSD, and we have very in that private group we have a lot of good discussion, and a lot of things came up out of this discussion that I think it is good that we have those discussions so we can present them to you, the public, so you can state your opinion and give your thoughts on many of these things, because it is in the discussions and in the conversations and in the dialogue that many ideas are formed, and many ideas come about, and then changes are made for the better and for the improvement of the sport in general. So we're going to do that. We're going to have robust discussions about development. What are your thoughts on development? The development of football. Are we making progress? Are we regressing? And that means, are we going backwards? Are we going forward? Or have we become stagnant in terms of the development of players in Jamaica at all levels. How is that? What are your thoughts? Are we doing better now? Were we doing better in the past? Or we need to anticipate what is going to happen in the future? All right. Are we able to reasonably, right, look at what happened in the past and even compare it to what is happening now? And do we begin to collect enough data now so that we'll be in a better place to compare that with what will happen 10 and 15 years down the road? I know some of the things that I said yesterday. For example, I said I believe that during in my time, or in the 90s, probably late 80s into the 90s, I believe that there was a lot more football being played by our footballers from early ages. And so the time that they had playing helped in their development, right? And not only that, I also believe that because the coaches were spending more time, because of all the football that was being played with the players, then the players were being developed um, at a what I call a better level. All right. I know that there is coaching education right now all across Jamaica, and it is good. We are one for improvement and growth. We believe that coaches need to continually improve and grow. What used to happen back in the days, as I know it, is that at different time courses would be offered and done, and some of the coaches, some of the top coaches, some of the more traveled coaches would go into Europe and get learn stuff and then come back and take those things to implement in the football. All right. We also realized that there were some limitations. There were some limitations in terms of the availability of resources and quality fields. I believe that now the fields have improved, and I believe the access to the European market in terms of player has been broadened and widened. And so, therefore, there is an expectation and an anticipation that more players would be leaving the shores of Jamaica. Um, leave the shores of Jamaica and go into Europe because there is an opening of the European market. There was a time though when a lot of the Jamaican players would end up in MLS. I think that was, shortly after the establishment of the MLS, moving away from the A League that they used to have into the MLS. There was a lot more Caribbean natives, in particular Jamaican, but over time that has changed, and a lot more Jamaicans are going into the European marketplace. There are many who are of the opinion, and I too am of that opinion, that in the 80s and 90s, the type of talent that we had available, if those markets were as open as they are today, I believe that a lot more players would have made the transition. The ones who made the transition kind of made the transition at the back end of the 19, like the major moves started at the back end of the 1998 World Cup campaign. But prior to that, you'd have seen, just the potential and the quality in players that would make you believe that if the opportunities for Europe was as wide as it is today, and there were Jamaicans um, who are major agents now, were available to players back in that time, then many more would have made the transition. All right. And so you have that to look at. There was so not only that, which is something that we have also discussed a lot of times, like because you had less players going away, right? You had less players going away during one time, or less of the top players. What you'd find is that the competitive nature of the local league was way better, and I believe even some of the quality in terms of the player, it was at a higher level. You'd see stellar free kicks on a regular basis. Just imagine if you look at some of the games that would be played, or what are the versus a SEBA, and you had like just national players at the time on both teams, like 6, 7 on both teams, or when even the Tivoli Gardens team that had so many talented players, the Harborview team that consistently did well, Portmore United when there were Hazard. So you had all of those things that were happening. All right. Now, the other thing that must be looked at is with the opportunities that are presently available and the opportunities to come, are we right now developing our youngsters at a rate that will get them, right? Are we develop them at a rate that they can have sustainable, long-term future in the European marketplace and play in the top leagues in Europe, right? It is good for them that they start on the outskirts, meaning at the lower tier, but are they developed to the level where they can climb the ladder of success and get to the highest level in Europe? Is that a possibility? Are we doing the right things? No. Are the right things being done now and put in place to facilitate that 10, 15 years from now? For the ones who are making it, I know you have Trevante Stewart, who is over there. You have the Ronaldo Cephas. You have the two Calabar youngsters who went away, um, Anderson and Webster. You have like a Karim Paris, who is overseas as well, and in Europe, Norman Campbell, who is doing well. I mean, when you look at it though, how many of those players are really making a name for themselves? Not just making the money, but they are doing well where they are, and they are progressing, they are moving and gradually coming up to higher levels. And if not, then what are the factors that are contributing to that? Why our players continually have a need to go on trials instead of being good enough to go right into a professional setup at some of these top clubs? What are some of the factors that are contributing to that, right? I see Brian put up Junior Flemings. Please note, if you don't hear me call names, there are many other players who are over there that I have not called their names. I'm not trying to ignore anyone, but you can't remember everyone, all right? So thanks for that. So there is Junior Fleming that is also there as well. And I know, Rulal Speed just spoke about Adrian Reed, who is on trials again, um, overseas, and you have like the Duncan Mackenzies, who I think Duncan Mackenzie is over there. Haven't been hearing a lot about him. Um, yeah, and there are a couple of players who were at Phoenix that were in Belgium, and some are back in Jamaica. Don't know the status of all of them, so I can't speak to them. All right, I can't speak to their situation. But what are the factors that are limiting um, the the steady flow of Jamaican, given that the marketplace is more open right now, and we have seen um, within the last 10 or so years, players going to Europe and coming back either to USL or even to the local leagues, and then they go back. Why are these things happening? All right. Why are these things happening? What is going on? What are the factors that are contributing to this? Is it that the players, we would have heard, for example, Tariq McGee, and an interview that he did on the coaches that spoke about some of the failures in his own development here in Jamaica that affected him when he went away. Is that down to the player or down to the coaching development? Are those things getting better? Or are we creating a system where the coaches are more focused on the success of the team in a bid to keep their jobs more so than spending time to help the players develop in terms of the intricate details of the game? That's a question that I need to be answered. Is it also, while academies, like I said yesterday, are very important, while academies are there and they serve a very important purpose, when we look at what Mount Pleasant Academy has done with their youngsters, and Kingston Academy and Ballers, and Phoenix, let us not left them out, that produces very good players. Let's not forget them. These academies, they're doing a lot, but what happens to the players who can't afford, because of financial reason, the opportunity to be in those academies? How are they going to develop the the necessary little details to sharpen and harness their skills so they can go and represent in Europe. That is the kind of discussion we want to have today. You know, um, were the Adonis Maxwells and the ultimate Freddie Butler, were they as good? The Troy, Pinnock, Pepsi, the Ali Rose, were these guys any good at all, or we are just living in fantasy land? Um, could they even play football, or maybe you know, um, all of these guys were the Winston Anglin and the Hector. Were they really any good? Were these players from the past? Were the Cornell Chinsus and these guys that people talk about? Were they even good footballers? Right? If compared to a player now in similar position, um, yeah. If you were to take like this, uh, Garvey Maceo Manning Cup team, are they better than the Charlie Smith team of 1995 or the Rossi East team? Are they any better? Are they any better than the Tivoli Gardens team with Steve Green and do? Are they any better when you take them? Are they better than the Wolmer's team, Ricardo Bibi Gardner? Are they better than the Cornwall College team with Milton Griffiths? Are they better than the Clarendon College team with Kevin Sensi Williams? Are they better? Are the players, when you look at them, are the players better in terms of talent and potential? Or it's just that those players from the past never had the opportunities as these players? So let your voices be heard. Also, I want to mention that Demos, Demos, uh, yeah, Demo events is happening tomorrow, and hopefully we can get a word in from him where that is concerned. Just a little Premier League update. Cavaliers, they defeated Arnett Gardens at the Jungle 2-1 last night, and so they continue to be on a good and steady run in the JPL. And I'm telling you, this top six race is going to be very interesting, because I think the teams at the top are playing well. I think most of them begin the second round, with the exception of Cavaliers that have a couple of games, because they were in the Caribbean Club Championship. See, Brian has a question. I'd prefer you to call in, Brian. Do you think that the players from these times could have dominated the league back then if they were born in that time? I don't. I'm not sure I'm understanding that. So we can probably pick players and say, listen, we can pick an era, say from 1990 to 2000. Let's use that from 1990 to 10 years, and then let's go from 2010 to 2024 and pick an 11 from that time. So pick an 11 from 2014 to 2024 of the top Manning Cup and DaCosta Cup player, all school team, and then pick a team from 1990 to 2000. That's an next 10-year period, and see what it would be like. It would be interesting to see how the composition of those teams would be, and then you can say man for man, just based on your opinion, who would be better? Which one of those teams would be better? So if you can begin to write that down, and then when you call in, you can give me the team from 1990 to 2000, and then from 2014 to 2024, which would include like your most recent, your Kaheem Dixon, your Dejan Whisper Richards, it would include like your Tyreek McGee and Norman Campbell. Those guys would have been in that time. And then you go from 20, your 1990. You understand me? You have your Ali Rose, your Troy Pinnock, your Ching Su, your Irvino Englishes, your Aaron Lawrence, your Warren Barrett, your Hector. I don't think, yeah, could have been, yeah. You could do that. You could do that. You have the Christopher Dawes, would be in that time as well. You have Bucky Barnes, you have Styler Banks. I mean, there are so many names. But maybe they are players. Like I say, you have your Jordan Fletcher, your Peter Lee Vassals, your Larmans. You have some players who came through, your Javian Browns, your Johnny Talbots. These guys had very good schoolboy football season. You understand me? Have Amal Knight. These guys, Cardell Benbow, LA Andre Lewis, you have the one, Chevron Marsh. So you do have some players, and maybe you have man from Bridgeport that won the league. You have O'Neill, Bigger Thomas. Yeah, in that time. You have players also. Yeah, so maybe none of those players would make it. Yeah. Because then you have like Jermaine Johnson and you yeah. Yeah. A big up to this jersey is an Ankara jersey from out of the Turkish league. Yeah, supporting C Fast. That's what I call him. Not C Fast, C Fast. Big up to Baggio. Bless up yourself. Thanks for the super chat, my brethren. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, man. Big up my like shipping port as well. It is also Super Friday, and all donations on Super Friday for this Super Friday will go towards our Christmas project of giving out toys on Sunday, this Sunday, and also to purchase meals for street people come Boxing Day. All right. Okay, so Mana still says all teams will start the second same time. Cavaliers going to play their two remaining games before the second round start. They host Chopperton on Sunday and visit Mobile Wednesday. Then the second round start. Thank you for that, sir. No, Duckland. I mean, I need some of the people. You call in, Duckland. The lines are open. The lines are open, so I'd love for you to call in and begin to tell me. So people, remember it's Super Friday, so if you can leave a super sticker, super chat to support the channel. Really appreciate that. Also want you to know that Mannings have qualified for the under 16 finals. And St. George's College and Kingston College, I think they play today in the under 14 finals. Yeah. In case you have a good project going there. Yeah, so St. George's College, yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Trying to see if I'm familiar with any of the names, but not familiar with any of the names. Not familiar with any of the names. Who is in the final of the under 16? Urban Era under 16 competition. Good to know that. So like I said, lines are open. So call in and let me know. So Mannings and Clarendon College, Glenmuir are in the finals of the under 14. Yeah. Who are they going to play? And yeah. But that is the question. Are the players now better developed to excel? Whether they go into the intercollegiate system in the States, whether they go into Europe, or they stay to play in the local Premier League. Are they more developed in terms of the rudiments of the game than the players of the past who are coming through? Do we need to find a way of ensuring that there is more time being spent playing the sport by offering more competition to the younger players, right? I know Kasafa has not been having their steady flow of programs. Ernest Murray said, that's why I needed to call in Ernest Murray, because I don't want, as a host of the show, I don't want to be steering the discussion down a particular way. But tell me which team over the past 4 or 5 seasons that could beat the 76 to 80 Manning Cup and D Cup team. I don't know. You have to give me some names that would be in a all Manning Cup D Cup team from that time, kind of. And let me see. And I think it would be hard. I think it's hard to just go for the last 4 to 5 years. I'd say give them 10 years from 2014. So who are some of the players you speak of, Ernest? So Brian, you ask about if the lines are open. The lines are open and you don't call in yet. Hold on there. Let me see if I can get my bridging. Yeah. Let me call on I'm bridging here, you know. This is my bridging, you know. I'm gonna call him, you know, because he's one of those players from in the 90s. Call him from in the 90s, you know. The 90s man, them not answer, you know. And he is a coach. How you doing, man? What? You're live on I Am Sure Sports, you know.
Brother.
How you doing? You're live on I Am Sure Sports, you know.
Yeah, man, it just stay on in a to me in a some. Oh, me live?
You're alive.
Oh, go on, brother.
You're alive, man. All right. So, yeah. I know you have been listening, so I just want to find out from you, right? What are your thoughts? Are the players being better developed now comparing to, you know, your time? In the sport, how do you compare the development of the players as individuals in terms of their readiness for either the local Premier League, for college overseas, or for the European market? Hello?
Sir, man, from come out to the night, yeah. Me
Okay.
in the mall
Okay.
with a whole heap and from come out at the nice. You can hear me?
Yeah, man.
I can hear the nice.
We're hearing you loud and clear, man. We're not hearing any noise in the background. So the question is, are the players now in the present time, are players for the future? Will they be? Are they more developed and ready for the local Premier League, the collegiate, experience, or for Europe than the player in say in the 90s?
All right. I think more is being, let me answer it this way. I think more is being done now to prepare them for Europe and even college and so on. So more is being done in terms of football wise and getting them ready. But in terms of the talent, I think more talent was there then. Like in the 80s, 90s. I think there was far more talent then than there is now. But I think more is being done now to get them ready for that kind of environment.
Okay.
Because there was a time when we thought it was just about football, and we're learning now I mean, coaches are being educated and being equipped now to understand that the preparation is more than just football, you know, it takes in a lot of things, you know. In that time, we were just thinking about the talent and getting people ready technically and tactically and so on. But we realize now that it takes much more than that to be ready for that kind of environment and football.
Okay, because when you one of the discussions that I've been having is that when I look at the players who were coming out of schoolboy football, say in the 90s in particular, which was a rich time in local football. Of course, that must be spoken in light of the fact that a lot of them were not going to Europe because the opportunities were not there. But when they came into the local Premier League, like there was this instant impact and they were like ready to play in the Premier League. And one of the discussions that I've been having is that, like in the last 5 years, how many players have come out of schoolboy football and really gone into the Premier League and made an impact? And what people will say is that no man, but well, you know, I would say all of them, but they would say that most of the better ones have gone into Europe. But when you look into Europe, really, you're not seeing 20 or 30 of them, and this is from Manning Cup to the Costa Cup. So what is really happening? Why the players are not having the impact in the Premier League, the local Premier League, you know, in comparison to when like players like you or Ali Rose or Adonis Maxwell or you know, a Pat Cover or you understand me, or Dean Sewell, when those players came into the Premier League, they started playing regularly. The teams were playing. What is happening?
And it was instant impact. No, you're right. All right. So and I've had this discussion several times with different people in different contexts where when I was playing Manning Cup, several of the guys in my time were playing Manning Cup and have a immediate impact in the Premier League. Like me, you know, Backled them, Adonis them, Pepsi them, the whole of the man them, Bucky Barnes, you know, Dane Walker, and none others from other school, Herbert Richards, Billy Dias, the whole of them people, Peter Reed. So, and again, I would say, you know, man, apply ourselves in that context. We were able to apply ourselves in that context immediately. I feel like I'm chipping out, sir.
Yeah,
man.
you're chipping out sometimes. Hello? Hello? All right, I feel like this call is not. So let's see if he will call back. Kendall, I know you're not speaking from Jamaican perspective, but call back and let us know. Let us know what you think, because I see big up Christopher, special edition, bless up Triple E. It says players of the past were way more developed technical, physical, and had better social skills. However, the players now are better prepared tactically and are better coached. Okay, so that accounts for the movement of the players. I see this one says, and now the players have way more opportunities to make a move overseas, either to play professionally or to get an education. The 90s and 80s players didn't have much. All right, so it is all right. That is true too as well. I think there's a case for that it is opportunity based, because maybe if there were the opportunities available back then, many more. I see one person. Shipping port.
Great money.
Where you go on with, man? We know say are you a topic? Are you a topic this me are discussing? So yeah, because of the on the show. And here's the question we're asking. I don't know if you're in a position to answer. You can think about it.
Yeah, work where you can do it. Yeah, work where you can do it.
All right. If you were to pick a team, right? Which team would be better? That I like the best 11 from the 1990 to 2000, and then from 2014 to 2024.
24. I mean, a best level like schoolboy team or national team.
Schoolboy, man. Like coming out of schoolboy football. Like who would
be?
Which one of those teams?
Man, I understand. You're picking an 11?
Yes. Which one of those teams would be stronger and who would be in that 11? Because what we are saying is that the players now are way more tactical. Some are saying that they are better developed. But how would that compare to a team from 1990 to 2000? If you compare that with a team from 2010 to 2024. Or 2014 to 2024. Same 10-year block.
Yeah, man. But I think the team before have players that are more skilled. Maybe the thing that these teams have over those teams now, Mannings. And I get to find out that a lot of the youth them now I talk to. They have video clips of the rest of teams that they play so they can prepare for them. So I think they have that over the teams from before. Our teams before in our time never used to have them video evidence and them things that them try to counter the tactics of the teams where them play. I kind of a bit carried away because I kind of up on the work and I go through a little.
All right. Deal with that thing.
You don't want me to do that and get back to you? I can do that.
Yeah, man. Do that and get back to me. Yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, I look at spot to them people on the radio talk to get the thing started.
All right, do your thing and call back. All right, boss.
All right, no problem, man.
Yeah. All right. I like that what he said though. Right? He said that, but now the players can look at tapes, which is what Kendall was saying about the tactical astuteness of the players now. Right? Big up Brain Drain. Thank you as usual. Thank you for your donation. Like I said, all donations today will be going towards our Christmas event. One is on Sunday we'll be giving out toys and gifts to kids, and then on Boxing Day we'll be giving out food to the homeless people on the streets of St. Anne. So thanks to all contributions, all donations in Super Chat and Super Stickers on Super Friday. Yes, sir, you're back now with us.
Yeah, I don't know what is that. But the people might have some fun dating, you know.
So, yeah, man, we're hearing you now.
Yeah. So basically, you know, for me, Sir Mannings, the thing is primarily the talent, the natural ability that made the difference in terms of the immediate impact in the Premier League, and even, you know, when they
yeah, man.
I don't think it's because we knew more or we were better prepared for that environment. Because I think we have far more preparation now. We know with knowledge coming in than then. I just think we were accomplishing more then because of the natural ability, in my opinion.
All right, I see someone who did a research saying past players played over 15 hours per week and played multiple sports that were in season, eat natural food. And he says, and he's speaking from a Caribbean perspective or a Caribbean context. So he's suggesting that the players back in the days, right, were way more developed, and that is because they were playing way more hours of football. Is that a factor as well, that more football was being played by the players then than now?
Yeah, man, I believe that. I think we were playing. I mean, even for myself and my group, as I say, even that core Manning Cup team there,
Yes.
far more football we were playing than the guys who are playing Manning Cup now.
And that was
Yeah, man.
that was a
Because when we were playing,
1990 Camperdown team.
no, I left 88. I was playing from 86. I played 86, 87, 88.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said that team
Yeah.
was playing a whole lot
Bucky
more
Barnes
football.
Bucky Barnes them play up until 90, but we left before them. Me, Backled and them guys, Dean Walker them. We left from 80. Yeah, but we were playing because we were playing, remember, you know, we were playing Carnally, we were playing Manning Cup, we were playing Premier League. So everywhere football was, and because of who you are too, we were being invited to everything, everywhere, any splash, any football splash, any football extravaganza, we were a part of it. So, you know, and far more football was being played here. So, you know, the more football you play, the more opportunity to improve, you know?
Okay.
So I think that was one of the benefits.
So probably part of the solution to improve the present players is to have them play more football.
More football. And with the knowledge, so now it wouldn't just be more football and just allowing the players, because of them natural technical abilities, to show off them talent, but because of the knowledge and the information that coaches now have, you know, being prepared, you know, much better than we were before. I think coupled with that, we should be able to accomplish far more.
Yeah, I am curious because while I do like the fact that players are going to Europe, it's not like we have tons of players leaving at the end of every season. And then when I look at the local leagues, I'm not seeing, with the exception probably like a Cavaliers who have probably 6-7 guys coming out of high school and playing with their teams. I see Burkett was a good player at St. George's, and you know, he was at Dumbeholden, he wasn't getting a lot of minutes there and stuff. So when you go around the league, you don't see the players coming through like they used to in the past, coming out of schoolboy football and starting at Arnett Gardens, starting at Tivoli, week in, week out, starting at Waterhouse like the Irvino English and the Dottyman and those people, are Andre Hicklin and, you understand me, and Capo and those. You don't see that, the Jeremy and you, the Kareem Cook, the little baby, you don't see
immediate impact in big man football.
The puppy dog, you don't see them, the Fabian Watkins and Walter Boyd, the guys from Excelsior just going into Premier League. Why are we not seeing that?
I think we need to I just repeated myself here. I think we need to play some more football, and I think more emphasis needs to be placed on the technical development to, you know, the basic fundamentals. All right, straight up. No disrespect, Sir Mannings. I was watching a Premier League game the other day, and I'm not knocking the Premier League. And me say, I watch it, and I'm not going to mention the team, where this match, a defender passed out a ball again, one of his wing players, right? Where he had like 10, 15 yards of space behind it, right? But he was still in a position facing his defender that was passing the ball over a 40 yards distance to him. And he ended up taking 3 touches to turn to face the opponent's goal, right? So I'm saying just those tactical and technical awareness, you know, to know that, all right, the ball a pass from the defender, then we need to fix my body with my back to the line, so that I can see up the field and know how to prepare this ball, taking one touch, putting me in the direction that I plan to go. So the quicker I can get done what I want to do, then we can advance. So just simple things like these. And I'm not saying coaches are not teaching it, but I'm saying there need to be more emphasis on these basic fundamentals where we were doing these things when we were just
Yeah, one of the things I'm trying to come to understand is how much time the coaches are spending with the players now. Like in comparison to in the 80s and 90s when, like you said, because there were so many different things happening in football, whomever your coach was, you probably you're probably around your coach. You probably play minor league, I think they used to call it. You probably, if you probably have you playing corner league, in probably so he was always there around you as you were increasing your hours of play. I am wondering if there is a way to for coaches to have more coaching time with players that will fast track their development, because what is happening really is if less football is being played, that means there's less time with the coaches, which means less instruction, while they have more education. You understand what I mean? They're more educated, but they may not be able to pass on all the information. No, because remember, a lot of the coaches now, they have paid for their courses, and it's a different time. Back in the days, maybe a man could do it for free. No, it's a payment thing. And you have your family. So you probably have your regular job, and you have 3 coaching jobs. So you can only spend 1 hour here, and you send your assistant to do the next one until it's match day. And then you do this one for your next hour. So you can spend time on your regular job. Now, when that is happening, I feel like while the information is available for the players to get better, it is not being passed to the players as often. There's no repetition and consistency.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, sir, man. And I think the issue is that not so much more time. So, all right. So it may be that as a coach, you don't have more time in terms of how your day set and your responsibilities. But I think the issue is more on the side of emphasis rather than having more time to coach, right? So it's not just about getting more hours. I think it's about adjusting the emphasis, So I think I think too much emphasis is being placed sometimes on systems, and system play. Too many coaches just want to have this system where you just have a certain type of player and you can plug them into the system to get them to function. But less hours are being spent on developing the players, creating different sessions to improve the players technically. So I think the issue there is, so I agree with you in the fact that probably less hours, but I think you have to do with what you have. And if what you have is 2 hours, how much of that 2 hours each week you're going to spend developing the players technically?
Yeah, which is critical. As you read here saying, like anything else, the more time you put in, the more technically better you will develop.
Definitely.
Yeah, Triple E says I agree with their caller to some degree, but we have to factor restrictions back then, which is different now compared to now with players playing in certain leagues. I don't understand, but what I think is also true is that while there was crime back in the 80s and in the 90s, I think the crime rate is a factor, because some communities that used to have corner leagues and little leagues going on, because of crime, you don't have those things again. When parents would be okay to send out their kids a Saturday evening to play some ball, a lot of parents are not doing that again. When you could play some scrimmage up until close to 7 in certain places, that is not happening again. So there's really less contact hours. Because
that's a good point.
Yeah, and I think sometimes I have seen some fields in the rural areas where football used to play almost every day. There's nothing going on, and it is because of the crime. Because of the crime, people don't even use the field again because of where it's at, and so people don't go there to play. So kids now, like I said, they're not playing enough, and that is because of the fear of, if my son goes out, he may not come back home.
Yeah. So that is one of the reasons that the contact hours are being, lessened for those reasons. And there might be other reasons as well. But again, if 2 hours is what we have, and that's what happens, then there's something that I said to my players when we're playing at our training session. And sometimes you have some players who want, just the right pass and the ideal pass, and I keep telling them this: just take what you get until you get what you want. So sometimes what we want is not available just now. But can we use what we have? What we have now is 2 hours. Just like the pass that we might want. I mean, here's a splendid pass, but you can just take the one right here, so until it might open up an opportunity to make the other one when we really want. Right? So that is one of the principles, just so the contact hours, very important. But for now, if just balance how we use the hours that we do have to place the emphasis in the right area.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. Blessings to everybody.
Every time,
Really
man. Thanks for joining in. All right.
Bless up. Thanks much.
All right. So people there, you have it. If you want to call in, you can call in and make your point, You understand me? Big up, Sir Michael Beadle in the house. Hope you're doing well. Tennessee. A long time I don't see you in Tennessee. Long time. Yeah. The JFF had a press conference today. Whenever I should play it, let you hear. You want to hear the press conference? It's too long. 1 hour long. Too strong. Wilbert Moore. Bless up yourself, man. Bless up yourself. Yeah, so that is the discussion, people. I think we need to strategically look at development, because I would expect that with all the coaching education and the improvement and all of these things that we would be seeing, and the opportunities that exist, the availability of scout. I heard people, for example, questioning Mr. Speed about why his players are not going into Europe. But then they said people are saying that, but the players are being developed and they are getting better and they are way better than players. But we then saying that why the players are not going into Europe, why they are not ready for Europe. So we have to make up our minds as to whether we really believe that the players are being they're experiencing the requisite development that would make them excel, either in the overseas market in Europe, because there was a time when Jamaica, for example, had a lot more players in the MLS than presently. When we had way more players, regulars in the MLS, and some of those came through the college system, but we had way more players in the MLS, and that is not just. I don't think it has to do solely with the fact that there is probably a dip in quality, but it also has to do with how the policy in the MLS has changed in terms of recruitment, because they are getting more players from out of Europe. So therefore, all right, therefore what happened is that they probably take less from the Caribbean. You understand? Yeah, and players, I like what Triple E says, and some of the players get lost in Europe, and then you wonder, like, even some of us question, like the players. When a player, for example, leave Jamaica and goes to India, do we say that is that a good move in terms of football development? When a player leaves and goes to, I don't know, Azerbaijan or certain leagues, do we look at those things and say, yeah, man, this is a big move, this is a good move? How do we treat them? How do we treat those things? How do we treat those type of a move? How fruitful are those moves for the player's personal growth and development? Right? Or is it just a player saying, listen, I need to look for the opportunity to become financially stable, and wherever the opportunity is, that's what I'm going to run for or run to? But what is undeniable is that when in the 90s, when we had a lot of talent, and maybe, like I said, maybe a next person may say they were not good. That is your opinion. But in the 90s, in the late 80s, 90s, and even in the early 2000s, the talent was good, but the opportunity to have a agent and the marketplace of Europe was not wide open as it is now. We never had agents in Jamaica who had the access to these marketplaces to move players. It would have been good to see, and to just, if history could be rewritten with an agent in that time, to see what kind of movement would have taken place. Because I've oftentimes heard players say, like, this man, this type of talent could have, and this type of talent should have. Yeah. But, and again, where is this idea coming from? This is coming from the, I feel like, like, having watched the schoolboy football this season, I watched the game with Ocherius and Magra. I think it was a poor game. I watched the Garvey Marseille Glenmore final. I thought it was a poor game. Stets Clarendon College, I thought it was poor. I thought so many of the games, and this is my opinion, I thought they were poor games. Like, and I've tried hard, like, to say, all right, I'm going to name 5 or 10. Let's go to 5 quality players. And I've searched long and I've searched hard to find a quality goalkeeper, like a striker that I trust. When I think about like I said, in the recent past, Kaim Dixon or a Dujan Whisper Richards. Like, is there a striker that I've seen? No, I have not. And mark you, I have not watched every football team in schoolboy football. So there may be one at some school that never made it that far. I don't know. Badger says, man, is the thing about not everywhere offers everything. For example, TFC Academy, at every age group, all the TFC Academy does extra training somewhere else. Okay, all academies, okay. 90s, no gadget, just football, river, and cricket. Okay, so R&R kind of saying that. So that means players had more time for the sport. Okay, so at the Toronto FC Academy, you're saying that because they don't offer everything, what happened is that some of the players go elsewhere to get their own personal development and training. All right, cool. So like a plan. Bless up, peso every time. And says too many schools, too easy to make the team. So that's also a good point. And that's something that we need to probably look at. The fact that the amount of schools in the league has widened significantly compared to like in the 90s in particular. What that means is that the talent is more widespread and not concentrated. Because there's a time when it was around 10 or 12 schools that all the talent was in. So like you said, R&R, good point. It would be harder to make certain teams. Number one, it would be harder to make certain teams. And then number two, it is like you have more quality players in any one team that makes it a whole lot difficult. So that's a good thing. I think that's a very good point that you have made. R and R, yeah, man. But people, the lines are open. Call in, let your voices be heard. You understand me? Let me know what your thoughts are. So you don't think they should be comparing era? If we don't like this idea, Peso, like this idea that people are not supposed to look back at what used to be so they can determine what they need to do now. Where is it from, Peso? Why can't people why can't people look back and look at things of the past, look at things that were done and implement them now? The good things that were done and take them into the present, and then the bad things you throw them away and add things, new things to that. What is wrong with comparing the eras, looking at players back then and saw what was lacking, and see what was lacking in their preparation, in their games, and then based on that you create something for the present? I don't understand what is the issue with that, Peso. Big up the Saudi Crest Show and who Preston. Mikey Beal, big up yourself, Every time one of these come up, people you have to highlight them, because this is for a big effort. Again, I have to big up Mikey Beal because all super chats and super sticker for this Friday goes towards our Christmas project. What are the Christmas project? Two things. One is we are going to be giving out toys to underprivileged kids on Sunday. And then on Boxing Day, we're going to be feeding, the homeless people in our areas. So we want to thank the people who continue to give their super stickers and super chat in this bid and in this effort. It's for a worthy cause. Worthy cause. And we totally appreciate that. In Peso, why? Why you answering a Peso? Yeah. Why people can't compare era? That's a question. You have to look back, man. And you have to look at the present and you have to look to the future. It's a very, 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 very important. Yeah, sorry that no mention of Antonio didn't was at the news conference. Not sure. I think there's some mistyping in that press team. I'll be on the latest. The man is in an accident. He's recovering. So just like what people want to know the details of his like. I just think. Let me say this with Mikel Antonio. You have to respect people's privacy, right? The man is in an accident, and the official statement says that he's recovering. He's recovering. It will take some time. I think nothing should be said publicly about the man until the man is ready to say something publicly. That's what he is. The people around him have decided that for right now, listen, he's recovering, he's with his family, he needs some time. Just give the man some time. You don't need no more. I don't think people need no more information more than that. People want to find out if you'll be able to play football, if this part-time body break, if that part-time body like that. To me, those things are not necessary. I think this idea that we are owed information is not, something is wrong with it. Like, people are supposed to tell us because we are just fans, man. There's no obligation to give us information. We are not his family. I think those things are with people's family. We are just fans, and we just get what we receive what we get. I don't think so. If the JFF got information from him to put out, they should put it out. But if not, they should not come and speak about it still. You understand me? Like this thing, like we live in a world now where we feel like if something happened to management, somebody need to come and tell you all the details or something is wrong if they don't do that. No, it's a private. It's a private matter. He's a public figure, but his medical thing is a private matter. So let it stay private. That's time. Let it stay private. That is my position on it. So I don't ask, except I get the information that everybody has, and we pray. You understand me? We pray and we believe for the best. And when we have an opportunity, we send something to encourage him and stuff like that, and leave it. But when the time is right, he will come and speak, because yeah, I know one person trying to find out if he's going to be able to play because they want to know which striker we're going. Like, that is so inconsiderate. Like, we're trying to find out which striker we're going to use to replace the man. Come on, man. Be concerned about a man life. Hey, I want to do show about which strikers, and you need to know how soon him going to recover. Come on, bro. Them thing they're not necessary. But that's man's. That's my views. That's how I see it. Understand me? That's how I see it. All right. Now, we have a social matter that I want to discuss. All right. Now, I heard this. It was on the news. I saw the mother. I saw a demonstration. You understand me? All right, let me just take this one and then I get to the social. Management, do you think players have some accountability to with regards to his or her development path? For example, putting in extra work outside of regular games, and absolutely, like and your lifestyle. I think part of your development has to do with your lifestyle. If you want to be a professional footballer, there are certain things you have to do. It's just like there's an expectation in terms of behavior from teachers and police and medical doctors. So if you want to be a professional footballer, there's a way that you have to behave. There's a way that you have to behave, right? You can't just be every place, do everything, drink everything, eat everything. You have to put in some work. A lot of it has to do with the person as well. You want to be a professional, you have to put in the professional commitment to the cause. All right, it's an hour long, and an hour strong. Yeah, man. So all right. All right, all right. Sound good right here, sir. All right, just get some good information. All right, we'll sort it out, my boss. Yeah. So, bam. So I saw some news where I think a child from I think a corporate era high school, Queens, because all the information is out there so we can talk. Queens. 14 years old. Don't know her when she was born, if she's 14 going to be 15, or she's 13 just turned 14. But it would suggest then that at some point during her 13th year on earth, she got pregnant. All right. She got pregnant, small frame, and don't know if it got to the 9 months or the 7 months, 8 months, I don't know. But she was in the hospital. I don't know if you saw the story. She was in the hospital and having some issues, and her mother wanted her to be moved. And this is the mother's story. All right, this is the mother's version of the story. All right. So the mother wanted her to move to a different place because the doctors were on strike. It was not allowed, and they said they'll do what is called a C-section. Some people know it as. And she said she signed all the paperwork. Suffice to say that the young lady died, and the C-section was not done, and the baby died. And big problems, right? About the negligence shown by the hospital. All right. I think that's a legit case that needs to be looked into. And if there was indeed negligence, then justice must be served. But there's a greater justice. All right. Now, I have no details as to how she was engaging sexual activity to the point that she got pregnant. But I think our laws are very clear about girls at a particular age having sexual intercourse. It means that whether it's a 14-year-old boy, a 15-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy, a 17-year-old boy, an 18-year-old man, a 19-year-old man, a 20-year-old man, whether it be a cousin, whether it be an uncle, whether it be a step this or I don't know, but that person who impregnated her need to also go through the court system and face justice. Isn't there a part of the law that speaks to minors drawn into sexual activity because they cannot give consent because they're minors? Isn't that the case? I don't know. And I feel like more is being said about the negligence of the hospital, rightfully so, than the fact that a young girl got pregnant at 13. And I think in all of this, even the mother is missing that because I haven't heard anything from her concerning the person who impregnated her daughter, which makes me believe that she can't even talk about the person. Why isn't this person who impregnated or because your daughter must know? Because you decided that the child was going to carry the baby. Her father is still a part of our life, because you said that you guys were putting everything in place. The first place of justice is, how did a 13-year-old girl got pregnant? And then when that is done, we get to the hospital and their role in the passing of the pregnant girl. But we cannot start from the back end and then roll back. What we have to do is to go to the beginning and then roll things forward. The person who impregnated this child needs to face some sort of, is the CDA Sissoko, what is happening? And if the mother will not tell you who impregnated her daughter, she should be, and I know it gonna sound like I have no mercy, but she too should be, and the father of the child should be facing some sort of charges. I don't know what you think, people, but I have to speak to that because it is bothering me. It is bothering me. Then I hear about a case in Culloden, I think the place is in White House, where parents left their kids in a house. The house was engulfed in flames and the kids died. And then on the newscast, I'm hearing people talk about getting solar panels installed in houses. I'm thinking like, that should not be a part of the discussion. We're talking about parental responsibility. That is where the conversation begins and ends. You have no reason why a mother and a father at the same time should leave their kids unattended. You hear me? If a mother and a father leaves a house with kids in it unattended, you cannot have that though. You cannot leave two kids in a house unattended, even if you're going to work. One of you must be there, or you leave them with an adult. My sons are older, and I think very wise. And I dread the thought of leaving them by themselves. One's a teenager, and I don't want to leave them by themselves in the house because they just don't know. We have to do better. And no matter how often these things happen, there is always a next one. Always a next one. Because everybody think, oh, it's not going to happen to me. It's like accidents. A man speeding and crash. He dies. The next driver who sees that accident says, oh, that could never happen to me. He crashes, he dies. The next person passing hears about that. He does the same thing. He crashes, he dies too. This is 3. And the next man still say, oh, them a fool, them can't drive. And there's a saying. It says, take sleep and mark death. When you see these things happening to others, you have to take check of your own self. So a lot of kids will losing, unnecessarily so. Oh, the kids who died down in Westmoreland, I think 9 and 3 or somewhere down there. Young kids should not be left. None of them not reach. What I know is that none of them are 10. So they should not have been left alone, boss. Not even for work. Not even to go to the shop. You bring them with you. You bring them with you. My office is secure, and even when I'm at my office, boss, and I have my son, I don't want to lock him up in there and leave him. I don't want to. And I'm telling you, the fire in Westmoreland a couple days ago, man. Around 2 days ago. Let me get the exact date. Find it. Well, they say that they're in custody, colluded, right? Says following a house fire that claimed the lives of 2 children in a. Hold on a second. Hold on, let me just get it, yeah? So it says the children have been identified as 8-year-old Jamar Reed and his nephew Romain, who is also 2 8-year-old. There you go. 2 of them are 8. Yeah. Thank you. Sure improvement. In White House. Although Psalm 139 figure into your commentary with people seeing the accident and making the same mistakes. Oh, Psalm 139 figure into your commentary with people seeing the accident. Which verse in Psalm 139? There's a whole lot of things in Psalm 139. I say 139 talk about I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God and in his likeness. You know, which aspect of Psalm 139 you're talking about now? It's a Bible scholar before the game. Bible scholar before the game. Which yeah. Oh Lord, you have searched me. If I take the wings of the morning and fly. Which part of Psalm 139 you're talking about? No, but you just say Psalm 1. You sure you have the right Psalm, sir? Psalm 139 says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me, and you know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before you laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into the heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the utmost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as a day." So which part of it you talking, sir? Because it's long, you know, you understand me? May I try which particular part? Are you just put a psalm out there? You just put a psalm out there. I talk Psalm 124. I don't know. Or Psalm 91. Which one you talk, boss? The one people, the man said we just tell him which part of the psalm apply. I'm even know which part. And you bring up the psalm. Me not bring up the psalm, boss. And you bring up the psalm. I don't know which part of the psalm. Yeah, talk. I don't understand this, man. But you have to tell me which part. What statement did I make? What statement did I make? The statement about the parents being responsible. Which one? Are the parents, wherever you're going, or with, you know, my kids are old, but I don't leave them? Which statement? Give me what the statement. What statement is he talking about? That people see the accident and make the same mistake. But Psalm 139 and talk to that, my boss. I don't see that in a 139. I don't know. But that's how my man said that came to me. I'm telling you. Oh, a full drive for that. So it mean me just zip, me just Dap, mother just do this and do that and get out. You understand me? So I don't know. Which part of the psalm? Yeah, we don't know where you talk about, you know. Me don't know which part of the psalm. Yeah, talk. Me sure say the wrong psalm you have still, you know. But I figure that you're not going to say the wrong. Does God have a say in your experience? Yeah, but God doesn't impose his will on anybody. So people, let me help you now. So let me get out of this thing. So God never imposes himself on man's free will. Some men are free to make their choices, but with every choice there's a consequence. God doesn't make man do what man doesn't want to do. But God, being the loving creator that he is, puts before man life and death, and man, in his own free will, must make a choice. But God, the creator of all things, knowing, having all knowledge, having foreknowledge, knows what many people are going to decide to do before they decide it. But he allows it because that is what they want to do. And if God were to, if the creator were to just dictate life to all of us, and dictate what we're supposed to do and how and when, the love would not be genuine, because we are loving out of command, not out of having a relationship with the person. Are our days numbered? Are our days ordained? Oh, you're talking about the days ordained. So let's read that part, because, all right, see, I'm going to give you some Bible teaching now. All right? So, Psalm 113. All right? I think you're misunderstanding that part. You know? All right? So, let me give it a part, right? Precious also are your thoughts, O Lord. How great is it, the sum of all right. Your eyes saw my substance being unformed, and in your books they are all written. The days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. All right. So the day is fashioned for me. So again, God in his foreknowledge knows what we are going to do, but he doesn't impose himself. And though he knows what we are going to do, he always gives us an option to follow him and do his will. But some people will refuse to do that. Yeah. You understand me? So the man who see the accident, he made a choice, because other people made a choice. Did God stop one? And did God cause the other one? No. God is not the cause. People are the cause. So having ordained it is in foreknowledge. I know the choices you're going to make. I love you so much so that I have shown you better choices, but you still opt for the wrong choices. You still choose to do what you want to do, and so you're going to have to pay the consequences for that. Yeah, man, I hate that, man. That answer your question, sir? Seeking knowledge. My brother. Yeah, people, it is 1:30. It is 1:30. And 1:30 is where we're going to end the show. 90 minutes with management today. 58 likes so far. Let's see if we can get it to 100. No new subscribers today. So let's see. You understand me? But listen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in, for staying with me, for being on the show, for sharing your thoughts, for those person who we had the phone conversations with. I appreciate it a whole lot. I want to say a big thank you. And as you go, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and share the content. All right. I am Manning's Man, and this has been I Am Sure Sports. And as usual, when it gets to the end of our programs, we say we are over. And we are out of here.